Hello YouTubers, this is The Dark Knight of Steel, and today I'm going to be showing y'all my video game collection. Today I'm going to start in chronological order with my video games. So first with the PlayStation 1 games, my first ever video game my brother Rudy gave me called Motor Tune Grand Prix. This is from the creator of Gran Turismo. It's really good. It's a cartoon racing game, and you can see how old it is. It still has kids to adults instead of everyone. You can choose different characters. Very good fun game. They don't make them like they used to. Then I have He's Back Frogger, which is pretty much like the redo of Frogger, kind of a sequel, has the original and plus some newer levels by Hasbro. The Greatest Hits collection. Very hard game, but good. And then on to some of the video games my brother gave me after he got his PlayStation 2. I inherited it, Jet Moto. Very old game, but it's really fun, kind of cool, like jet ski motorbike type stuff. I think it'd make a cool movie someday if they just made it. You can see it says kids to adults, so it's pretty good. Then I have Spyro the Dragon, a really awesome game. And I used to have Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, but they got damaged. But it's still a pretty good game with Nasty Nork, who actually voices Lord Sadler in Resident Evil 4, which I get to later. Another game my brother gave me, you can see it's kids to adults, is Rayman. This is one hard video game. I might make a video later on just to show everyone how hard or how crazy this game is, how insanely hard and difficult it is. 2D, kind of like Sonic the Hedgehog and Mario Brothers. Then I have the movie or game version of Toy Story 2, very fun game. As Zurg. You pretty much have to save Woody. One of my favorite games of all time, the original Spider-Man by Activision Neversoft. This is awesome, and I still to this day declare that this is the best superhero game before Batman Arkham Asylum Arkham City came out, seriously. It is awesome. Did the movie like this, it'd be really sweet. It's more like the series with Venom. This is how Venom should be. Very good. I love it. The soundtrack's awesome. And Spider-Man's actually voiced. It's kind of funny going back to Resident Evil 4. Same actor who voiced Luis Serra in Resident Evil 4. Then I have the sequel to that, Inter Electro. Pretty good. Not as good as a Neversoft one, but it has some pretty cool suits and different webbing. It's still pretty good. Takes place right after. Still pretty good. Kind of funny because it has the original Spider-Man, the movie game, ad in it. On to another classic my brother gave me. Some of you old school gamers might recognize this from the old NES, Gauntlet Legends by Midway. Still one of the best fantasy multiplayer games out there. This and Baldur's Gate probably. Really good. Then on to some classics. This is my brother's, but I lost the cover. Mortal Kombat Trilogy. It's awesome. It basically combines the first 3 2D Mortal Kombat arcade games together. It's awesome. Especially if you're an old school type gamer. Arcade. Just like the arcade, but you don't have to pay. To one of the greatest survival zombie games of all time, Resident Evil 2. Leon S. Kennedy, can you survive the horror? This is like the original version with the double disc. Yeah, it's a zombie there. Leon S. Kennedy. The booklet. And then the other one has Claire Redfield. So it's pretty good. Then I get to my special games here. One of my favorite games of all time. Probably what got me into gaming in the first place, to be honest with you, is Crash Bandicoot. This one's actually really, really hard, but it's good. Challenging. You can get through any game. Kids to adults. First one done by Naughty Dog. Before they did Jack and Dexter and Uncharted, which I get to later. And this was the first video game, or I'm sorry, second game I got, but the first I got with my PlayStation. Had the DualShock analog controller. Got this with the Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back. Really awesome. It's funny with Naughty Dog how the first levels are in a jungle and the second one has snow. Or like in another area and the third one's desert. I lost the cover of this, which is a shame because it had a really awesome cover with him on the bike. But this has to be one of the best thirds, if not sequels. This is probably like the best. My favorite Crash is Warped, where you start going through different time periods and dogfight, motorcycle, and dinosaur. It's awesome. Little Jet Moto type level with Coco, and then with the Tiger and the Great Wall of China. Very awesome. And it's weird because Naughty Dog made Jack 1 through 3, and then the fourth one was a racing game, and that started with Crash Team Racing. Very fun game if you have friends, multiplayer. And that's the last time Naughty Dog did a Crash. Then it went to different people, and Crash Bash was made. But it's still a fun game, especially if you have multiplayer. This is totally a multiplayer game, especially if you have a multi-tap. It's really good. I don't have the case to it. It was a long case, like a PS2 case, but a PlayStation 1, but the Raiden Project on PlayStation 1, based on like the old arcade raiding games with the jet fighting. Awesome. Good music too. I'd make it into a movie. Then we have RPG collections here with Wild Arms, kids to adults. But that is nothing, I mean, compared to one of the, if not the greatest game of all time. Final Fantasy VII. This is like the most cinematic video game. I love Final Fantasy VII, and especially all the Final Fantasies with their storytelling. I don't mind CGI movies, but I would definitely love to make a real live-action version of Final Fantasy VII. This is like one of the greatest games of all time. From disc 1, and it was on 3 discs. And 8 was on 4, I think. 2 and then 3, Sephiroth there. Awesome imagery. Probably one of the greatest video game villains ever. And this is even better. It's Final Fantasy VIII. Really different and really more action-packed. Gun blaze and the soundtrack is just really good. Has his characters, Squall. There's a cutscene there. Mini walkthrough there. Cypher there. And that does too. Squall. Then it goes to another character. And now on to my PlayStation 2 games, starting with the Driver 3. Okay, game. Cutscenes and story is really awesome, very cinematic. Gameplay has a lot to be desired, though, especially if you play Grand Theft Auto and any of the other sandbox games like Just Cause or True Crime Streets of LA. We're finally to Resident Evil 4. This is one awesome game. I love this game. It's hard. To be honest with you, there's very few games I actually play on normal and even hard or professional. There's only 2 genres or 2 video game series I've actually done that. First being Resident Evil series, I always like get to play on easy or normal, and then to hard and then professional, and I did that with Resident Evil 4 and 5. And then another, it has to be the Arkham City, Arkham Asylum games I've played on hard. And then I played New Game Plus, and that was crazy, but I got through it, and it was like once you played that, you could pretty much be invincible in those games. But yeah, too bad it wasn't like the movie. I mean, the games. The movies weren't like the games, because this would make one awesome movie, I think. I don't know how to be. It's my own personal opinion, but if you got like Jensen Ackles. I know it's going to sound kind of CWWB here. And you don't want to get other actresses. I thought the actress Kristen Crowe could play Lana Lang, could have played her. And then you have the disc there. Very good. And I thought this wasn't going to be on the PS2 because it was originally for the GameCube. But 5 out of 5 in my book by Capcom. Very dark. It's very good. Really different from the other Resident Evils. I would recommend this to you if you're listening to Slipknot, the band. Listening to Volume 3, the Subliminal Verse. It's something with Resident Evil and Slipknot go together. I mean, just fighting two different orcs. It's really awesome. Like the Blister Exists or whatever. That song, it's really, really kick-ass. Then I have Mission Impossible Operation Surma. Really good. I had a Game Boy version of their first Mission Impossible game. Kind of more, though, with MI2, John Woo type action Mission Impossible more than the Brian De Palma, since this is before 3. But it's pretty good, kind of like a hybrid between James Bond, Everything or Nothing, and Metal Gear Solid. Then we get to Guitar Hero Encore, rocks the 80s. Good game, but really short and could have had a lot more awesome 80s songs. Like, this could have been a much better game. It was just too short in my opinion. But good nonetheless. Not as good as Guitar Hero. This is just like one of the best games, and too bad they don't make them anymore. This is like one of the best games since the past decade. I mean, it's pretty much air guitar, but it is awesome. Good soundtrack. Then there's Guitar Hero 2. Even more awesome. And then before doing Rock Band, they left to do Rock Band, and then Activision Neversoft took it over. This one's okay. I wouldn't say as good as the first two, though. Still pretty good. The best part about this game is the Devil Down in Georgia duel with the devil. It's so crossroads with Ralph Macchio there. It really is. But this Guitar Hero game, the last one I got for the PS2, I was 1-5, but I didn't get it. Or I still haven't played that or Metallica, and I'm a real big Metallica fan. Guitar Hero World Tour has to be the best one besides Guitar Hero 2 as far as soundtrack variety goes. Linkin Park, What I've Done, Hotel California, No Sleep Till Broken, Living on a Prayer, Misery Business. Just a whole bunch of songs. And on to some superhero stuff. I have Batman Begins, the video game. And this, in my opinion, before Arkham Asylum, was the best Batman video game. I mean, it's still good, but after Arkham Asylum, other superhero games, and especially Batman games, kind of leave you with cold feet. And I have my brother's PS2 Batman Vengeance game, which is really, really good. A little bit hard to control, but once you get it down, it's really awesome, based on the new adventures of Batman from the animated series. Really good. It used to be really high-tech, cutting-edge when it first came out. And I have the sequel to that, which is more of a multiplayer game, Batman Rise of Senzu beat-em-up game. Yeah, it's pretty good, and Nightwing even does the same leg-type sweep move that he does in Arkham City in the fighter, which I found kind of interesting. They have another game like Baldur's Gate, but I think it's from the Champions of Norath creators, is Justice League Heroes. This is one awesome game. I like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but I'm more of a DC guy, and this is just awesome. I mean, what more can you ask for? You have Batman, you have Superman and Batman in the same video game. That's all I have to say. Superman and Batman. All at the end with Darkseid have to rescue Superman. Since I'm a Smallville fan, I chose Martian Manhunter and Green Arrow to save him. And I have a sequel to another game called XG Racing, except this is XG Racing Association. Very fun game. Has an awesome techno soundtrack. Very kind of Wipeout-ish. I would suggest it if any of y'all out there can go to used game stores or whatever to get this. This is one of those rare hidden gem type of games.